The idea of sports league realignments often stirs up strong emotions, especially when it means reshuffling long-standing rivalries that fans have cherished for decades. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. What if the NHL decided to completely reorganize its divisions to better reflect modern geography and reignite heated rivalries? Let's dive into a hypothetical new structure for the NHL, imagining how it would affect the New York Rangers and the broader league. Currently, the NHL operates with a four-division setup, established in 2013. Back then, some teams we know today weren't even on the map yet. Teams like the Vegas Golden Knights and Seattle Kraken hadn't joined, and the franchise now known as the Arizona Coyotes hadn't relocated to Utah. Given these changes and expansions, it makes sense to ask if the Major League Baseball is already buzzing about geographic realignment if they expand further, with even Commissioner Rob Manfred throwing around ideas that could shake up traditional divisions and fan loyalty, with things like making the Yankees and Mets permanent division rivals. Imagine a similar seismic shift in hockey, like splitting the Rangers and Islanders or rearranging iconic matchups. So let's picture this NHL realignment across two conferences, each split into four divisions of four teams apiece. The focus is on maintaining fierce, time-tested rivalries while minimizing travel demands. Eastern Conference, Hudson Division. Picture a battle among the New York Rangers, New York Islanders, New Jersey Devils, and the Boston Bruins. This grouping would be a hotbed of historic rivalries. The Rangers and Islanders have one of the NHL's fiercest metropolitan showdowns, while the Rangers and Devils have played some of the most intense games in recent memory. Add the original 6 Boston Bruins, and you have a division brimming with tradition and hostility. Plus, all these teams are in close proximity across the Northeast, meaning travel fatigue wouldn't be a major issue. Atlantic Division. This would bring together the Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, Washington Capitals, and Carolina Hurricanes. Rivalry highlights here include the Flyers-Penguins Classic and the ongoing Capitals-Penguins saga that has defined modern NHL eras thanks to star battles like Sidney Crosby versus Alex Ovechkin. The Hurricanes geographically fit with Florida teams, but also share historic ties to the Metropolitan Division squads. Travel remains manageable along the East Coast corridor. Great Lakes Division, reviving a legendary rivalry. The Detroit Red Wings and Chicago Blackhawks would renew their classic battles in this grouping, now joined by the Minnesota Wild and Columbus Blue Jackets. While Minnesota and Columbus add geographic cohesion rather than deep historical tensions, the Blue Jackets' proximity to Detroit via Interstate 75 would light new regional sparks. All teams are within the Great Lakes and Upper Midwest regions, keeping travel short and rivalries fresh. Canada East Division. Here you'd see a historic and patriotic mix of the Montreal Canadiens, Toronto Maple Leafs, Ottawa Senators, and Buffalo Sabres. The Canadiens Maple Western Conference. Canada West Division. This would be a true Canadian hockey battleground, with the Vancouver Canucks, Calgary Flames, Edmonton Oilers, and Winnipeg Jets. The Battle of Alberta between Calgary and Edmonton is often considered Canadian hockey's fiercest matchup. Vancouver and Winnipeg add to the regional flavor, creating a division rich with national pride and passionate fan bases. Playoff series here would be electric spectacles. Pacific Division, featuring the Los Angeles Kings, Anaheim Ducks, San Jose Sharks, and Seattle Kraken. This division captures the West Coast's vibrant hockey scene. The Battle of California among the Kings, Ducks, and Sharks has produced unforgettable playoff drama. Seattle's inclusion injects new energy into this tight-knit group, all clustered along the Pacific Coast, making travel and fan engagement easier and more intense. Mountain Division. This would blend emerging and established teams like the Vegas Golden Knights, Utah Mammoth, a hypothetical Utah relocation or new franchise, Colorado Avalanche, and Dallas Stars. Vegas and Colorado have already built a competitive rivalry through playoff clashes, and Utah's presence would bring fresh competition in this Western time zone corridor. though travel distances are a bit larger here than in other divisions. The time zone similarities help with scheduling. Plus, with stars like Mitch Marner and Jack Eichel potentially creating storylines in Vegas, and powerhouse teams like Colorado and Dallas in the mix, this division promises high drama. Southern Division, grouping the Tampa Bay Lightning, Florida Panthers, Nashville Predators, and St. Louis Blues together, emphasizes a Southern presence. This might seem unconventional, since Tampa Bay and Florida are geographically Eastern franchises, but keeping the Florida teams together preserves the heated Battle of Florida rivalry. Nashville and St. Louis fit in here better than with Canadian or Northeast squads, and travel makes more sense without the constant international trips current divisions sometimes impose. Scheduling and playoffs, a fresh formula at. In this new framework, each team would play 15 games against their 3 divisional foes, 5 games each, with home and away games alternating annually to keep things fair. Against the remaining 12 teams in their conference, teams would face off thrice each, balancing home and away games over the years as well. Cross-conference games would be a home and away matchup against every team outside their conference, summing to a balanced and rivalry-rich 83-game regular season, with one additional flex game to spotlight extra rivalries or marquee matchups. Playoff qualifications would shift to a straight 1-8 seeding in each conference, disregarding division rankings but still honoring divisional titles for bragging rights. This approach prizes overall performance and hopes to set up the most competitive playoffs possible. The main tiebreaker would be head-to-head records, maintaining fairness for closely matched teams. Is this vision likely? Realistically, probably not. The NHL revamped divisions just over a decade ago, and tradition runs deep. Yet imagining this kind of shakeup invites us to consider how the league could evolve to embrace new markets, revitalize rivalries, and improve the fan experience. Could these kinds of changes breathe new life into the NHL? Or would they alienate fans deeply attached to the current structure? One thing is certain, the NHL story is still unfolding, and discussions about realignment are more than just exercises in curiosity. They're reflections on what hockey means to communities, players, and fans alike. What do you think? Would reshaping traditional rivalries energize the game, or do some matchups belong frozen in time? Drop your thoughts below and join